I forget to breathe when I get excited about policy. Ooh. Hello. Don't really know how to start a video like this, but basically what I thought I was going to be posting this week was a pretty average week in my life. Thought I was going to be baking some bread, doing some workouts, posting recipes, just like very normal everyday things. And then I got arrested at a protest in Houston, protesting the murder of George Floyd and standing with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I don't want to super go into everything that happened while I was in custody, just because I've already talked about those things on my other social medias, and I'll link those posts below. I did a Twitter thread and an Instagram post if anybody wants to kind of hear what that experience was like. And I think it's very important to tell those stories, and I think it's very important for people to know what happened. But at the same time, like, I feel like I've already talked about that, and I don't want to continue to talk about it and continue to bring it up, especially when I feel like there are other people that had far worse experiences in those 20 to 30 hours that we all spent detained. So I don't want to just like continue to rehash that story when it's already been told, but I will kind of point y'all to what I already said about that. I guess the one thing I do want to say is, like, it didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. It just like confirmed everything that I already knew about how like broken our criminal justice system is. What I wanted to talk about was kind of where I'm at now and where I want to go from here, and how I want to continue to advocate for this movement and continue to do this kind of work. So I, for a long time, have been very politically active, and I think when all of this started coming out and I started seeing everything on social media, a part of me felt like I've been doing this work. I've been doing this and I don't know what else to do. So I, have volunteered on political campaigns, and I've worked in politics, and I have kind of done the work to understand my privilege. And so I kept seeing all of these things, and I kept donating to all these funds and just thinking, like, what else can I do? And so then I just ended up feeling very like numb, and I didn't really know how to respond and how to actually feel useful. And I think that's also part of the problem, because there's always more work to be done. And even for someone like me who has done like a lot of in-depth work of trying to understand these systems and trying to understand my own privilege and trying to work towards more equitable policy and towards electing people that are going to push for that more equitable policy, even for me, like, there is still more work to be done, and there is always work to be done. And after protesting and after everything that happened, I honestly feel so much more empowered, and it just reminded me of like what that organizing space is and what it feels like to be on the front lines and to really like connect with people and be in that space of community that I hadn't had in a long time, that I hadn't had really since I jumped on my first campaign 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, after having that experience of being in an organizing setting and connecting with protesters. I just felt so much more inspired to do even more. And I think a big thing that I am pushing myself to do, and that I think is the way that we move forward from this, is prioritizing your advocacy. So like, actually put it on your to-do list. This is an ad to myself as well, but like, actually put it on your to-do list and make it an action item for yourself. Today, I'm going to spend an hour emailing my representatives and emailing my city council officials on these issues that I care about. I forget to breathe when I get excited about policy. I think that's just such an important step of like really thinking that, okay, so we've done all this work and how do we continue and where does it go from here? And it's just like continuing to advocate for policy reforms and continuing to put in the work for your local officials and your statewide officials. And yes, like November is coming up and November is so important, but also every single election until November is also important. Like, I really don't think that people understand fully the importance of your local government. But like, if you really want to get things done, if you want your communities to be better and be safer, you have to vote for your local officials. You have to contact them. You have to support them. As a person who used to work in local government, that was like one of the most satisfying parts of my job, was reading advocacy emails from constituents and seeing them advocate for policies. And I guarantee those get read and your voice does get listened to. And I think we are in a place where a lot of people are losing faith in democracy, and I don't think that that's unwarranted. I think that comes from somewhere, that trust, that distrust in democracy and that distrust in institution doesn't just like come out of a vacuum. And I think our democracy has failed us in a lot of ways, but I just like urge you to not lose faith altogether and to just continue to put in that work and continue to vote, because it starts in the protests and it continues in the policy. If we actually want to make this long-term systemic change, we have to do the policy work as well. And you have to be actively involved in what those policies are, what they mean. I just like don't know how else to say it. It's just so important. It's just so important that we all continue to do the work every day and to really like connect with your government. And I think like looking at the midterm elections, there is just so much faith and so much hope for me in that. I think that is such a testament to what this country can do. And there's been times when I think democracy has failed us. I think this past year is a huge instance of that. But at the same time, like we've done it before, and we've put people in government that care, that deeply, deeply care. And I think we can do it again. It doesn't stop here. We got justice for a number of people, and we got a number of things changed, but I think there's still so much work to be done. There's so many people that still haven't found justice. Keep moving. There's still work to do. That's the only thing I can say, is there's still work to do. And if we don't actively prioritize that work and actively continue to push ourselves to be more informed and more active citizens, like that's where that long-term change comes from.